Hello, welcome everybody. This is the official sound check. How's it sound? Okay? Okay? Okay. Good morning. Good morning, All Souls Greenfield UU Church. I'm glad you're all here today. It's so wonderful to be back in the building after 2 Zoom Sunday services. We'll, in a little while, we'll greet the people who are on Zoom. So I'm Kate Mason. I'm the host today. And I am delighted to bring you Sarah Pirtle, a minister from Shelburne Falls, and she's got a lot of good stuff to say about carrying the flame. And also, she just wanted me to mention that there's a brand new book called Hands Across the Hills, Grassroots Project Bridge, America's Political Divide from Kentucky to Massachusetts. It's a beautiful book, and she may or may not have copies for sale downstairs, but that rolls right into the next announcement that after the service, we invite everybody to come downstairs for coffee hour and eat. It's a potluck. Don't worry about not having brought food. We've got plenty. So anyway, that's special today, potluck. So, welcome if this is your first visit here. We do have a guest book in the back, and if you want to get information about ongoing services to get on the email list, make sure to check off yes, as well as your email address. So here we are together. It's almost, in the 30s out there. Woo-hoo. And what I'd like to do is invite you all to greet each other at this point. You're welcome to stand up and greet one another because we are a welcoming congregation. Matt, do you have a mic over there? Who's on Zoom? Who's joining us on Zoom?
This morning, we have Molly Chambers, Christine Bates, Gary and Christy in New Hampshire, Ilona Truesdale, Jay Lincoln Hurst, Catherine, Mary Thibodeau, Suzanne Carlson, Tamala, and Trudy Ralph are all joining us this morning from Zoom.
Wonderful. So glad you could join us. And I just want to say, I know Mary's from Montana. So let's settle in. So now I invite everyone to breathe. Breathe deep. Come into this room, be present, be focused, and be at peace. In the words of Reverend Kathleen McTeague, we come together this morning to remind one another to rest for a moment on the forming edge of our lives, to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment until we claim for ourselves awareness and gratitude, taking the time to look into one another's faces and see communion. This house of laughter and silence, memory and hope is hallowed by our presence together. Let's take time for quiet reflection as we listen to the prelude. Yes.
Good morning. I just feel so lucky to be here. So thank you for coming on Zoom and in person. I'd like to do a land acknowledgement. Yes, we're gonna do the prelude. Let me show you the sandwich. Prelude is here, call to worship is here, but let me tell you a little bit about that flute and tell you a little bit about where we are. So the flute was made from a cottonwood tree in the Northfield area, which was the place of the Sokoke people. And what I love to do every morning is think, so I'm in Shelburne Falls, I think 16 miles right here to the ridge that was known as the Great Beaver. If you see that big head that's known, this is the area of the Great Beaver Mountain and the key place of the Pecumtuck people. So let's place ourselves in deep time where we're thinking about the beauty of the river that's here, the Long Tidal River, that was named by the settlers Connecticut, but the Pecumtucks and the Nipmucks would call it Quinecticook or Quinnetequa. So we come into the reality of the river right there, of all the people gathering for years to hunt salmon, but always to share the salmon. So the theme today is Carry the Flame, and I want to take a minute to kind of look at everybody and just feel the flame that each of us has inside us. That's the antidote for what's happening in the world right now. Would you join me in the call to worship and read the reader, and then there'll be a place that says all. Does everyone have a moment to catch it there on the thanks? We begin by breathing into the wonder of our hearts. We begin by seeking inside us the flame we carry. On this journey, we are loved for who we are. We are worthy now. We greet the transformative power of intentional community. We take up the gifts they have given us, and together we leave gifts for the future. Thank you. Now, this song is by Kim Wallach, who lives in Keene, New Hampshire. And she just baked it this very week. So it comes from the fresh feeling of grappling with the sense of dismantling of things that people have counted on to feel like we're in community. So she took an old image of filling a cup of kindness. And each time I come to that line, I'll give a chance to repeat it so you can join me. When I'm overwhelmed with sadness and fear at every turn, Carolina hurricanes, California burns. Politics are crazy, the chaos only grows. I need to fill my cup of kindness till it overflows. Join me. I need to fill my cup of kindness till it overflows. There's the helpers building houses when they have lost their own, and the firemen who travel to save other people's homes, the folks who go to marches with risks nobody knows. They fill my cup of kindness till it overflows again. They fill my cup of kindness till it overflows. There's folks adopting children, raising them with love, and the priest who dares the president to show mercy from above. Countless unknown folks rising from their weight of lows. They fill my cup of kindness till it overflows. They fill my cup of kindness till it overflows. If you think a door is locked, you can't open it again. I will try to open up my heart as often as I can. There's so many here beside us, together we can grow. We will fill every cup of kindness till it overflows. Yes, we will fill every cup of kindness till it overflows, 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 overflows. Yes, we will fill every cup of kindness till they overflow. These prayers we make, these sung prayers, are real. Every time we put our love and intention into the web of life, it registers and it matters. So by gathering here today in this service and online, we are brightening the web of life. So welcome. Glad that you're here.
Thank you. Kay, if you can light the chalice. It's the reading on 447, but I will read it. You don't have to. It's by Albert Schweitzer. At times our own light goes out. and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us. And now, if you will, share with me reading the covenant, the congregational covenant, which is in your order of worship. In this house, we covenant with one another to create a community built on a foundation of love, to work together to promote equality, justice, and peace, accepting responsibility for our individual acts, to stand on the side of love, embracing the liberation of the oppressed, and working to end discrimination and unjust privilege, to learn and grow together, generously sharing our time, talents, and treasures, to celebrate the joys of discovery, from the wonder of youth to the wisdom of age, and to openly share our laughter and our tears, showing reverence for the divine in all that is. And now, as Sarah sings us another song, I invite you to give generously. The plates will be brought to you. This is what we call the offering. And I will go from there.
Thank you, Kate. I'm going to be dedicating this song to one of the names you heard online, way over in Great Falls, Montana. This is dedicated to Mary Thibodeau, and also to every person that you know right now that is struggling with any health challenge. Mary right now is in a hospital, but I want you to see her. She's someone who has lit my flame and of many, many people. So I wrote this song for her. And I think you'll like the phrase deep walking hope that comes from Dr. Emily Towns, who's a professor of womanist ethics. Now, Mary, you brought Vietnam vets for reconciliation. I think you did the first group back to Vietnam. In fact, there's a photo of you in the Vietnamese embassy in Washington, D.C., in appreciation of all you did. This song is for you and for all of us. You know that fervent feeling where you want, oh, thank you for bringing the offertory. Thank you for your gifts that make possible the beauty of the All Souls congregation. Thank you, Annie and Russ, for bringing this to the altar. All the gifts that people have here. Try this chorus. Let me sing it to you once. Deep walking hope, deep walking hope, will I bring you the power that you gave to me of deep walking hope. So we start with deep walking home twice. Deep walking hope once more. Deep walking hope, I bring you the power that you gave to me. I bring you the power that you gave to me of deep walking hope. Once more, deep walking hope. Deep walking hope, will I bring you the power that you gave to me of deep walking hope. How many people have watched your eyes, watching them, and felt your heart lift them back again? Your heart is a boat that has carried many others. Meeting for strangers, you welcome them as friend with deep walking hope. Deep walking hope, will I bring you the power that you gave to me, that you gave to me, of deep walking hope. Nothing can blow out this candle. You have a light that's forever, forever. I want you to know how much you matter. You are the place bright light gathers with deep walking hope. Deep walking hope. Will I bring you the power that you gave to me, of deep walking hope. We open up the ceiling of your room so that all of us can be there with you, thanking you, reaching you, blessing you, bringing our love through to you. For all of us who want to fervently send our love to a person in our lives or a person we love who's in spirit. Yuli K is the person who came up with these words. And when I found them this week, I thought, oh, these might be, you might enjoy these. Well, somewhere along the line, you chose to walk the road less traveled. You chose peace over retaliation. You chose to take the things that could have turned your heart to stone, and you became a light instead. You chose to see the miracles. You chose to wake up and find goodness. You chose faith over fear. And you loved even when it was not easy. Again and again, you chose, dear soul. Beautiful people are not so much born, they are built. They are built, and you chose. And we thank you all for your choices. Well, as I start the sermon, I'm going to start standing inside Greenfield's market. You know how sometimes you stand in line at a cash register and people begin to talk to each other? Strangers enjoy talking. Well, this week a woman was telling me about what these times are like for her, and then she said so fervently, well, I won't let anything break my spirit. And I said, I'm giving a sermon about that this week, about the strength of our souls. So I've created an imaginary book, and I'm going to read you different pages in it. And it's called Dearest Future. You'll see why. Dearest Future, here's what we did to remain guardians of life during turbulent times, during widespread threat to the earth and threat to our life-sustaining community values. Here's what we did. We didn't know it always at the time, but each of us were repairing the heart of the world. We want you to know it. We want to know all the times you cared and connected, because, you know, there is a heart of the world. Our own inner flame is connected and made of it. So you who are in the future, we pass you knowledge of this flame. None of us, we should never forget this. We care that you are able to keep your flame alive. So let me turn some pages here. Okay, this page says, I send to the future this way of holding the light. It says that in our times, in 2025, there were certain spiritual understanding, certain values, conscience, practices that have held humankind for centuries, but sometimes they feel endangered. Too often they feel endangered. Knowing how to fill a cup of kindness, that's how we're made. We are born caring for each other. We are in a web, and our kindness pours life into every part of that web. So I want you of the future to know of this phrase, a long line. And what it means is that everybody throughout history who has worked to bring life-sustaining values strong have been in a long line. And we're not just individuals, we partake of those gifts. So we want you to know that we're thinking of you. And right now we are in a long line with you. Oh, here's the next page. I send to the future this way of holding the flame. Singing. Issei Barnwell from Sweet Honey and the Rock said, the way that spirituals were created is that people hid at night away from the big house underneath blankets and sang so strongly the songs they needed, making up songs in the moment. Somebody who had been sold from another area would bring the songs they loved to sing. And these songs kept passing on, wade in the water, steal away. I'm thinking that this little light of mine went through this process. When we sing it, we make this declaration, I'm going to let it shine. Nobody can blow it out. So I want to gather with you in a circle under a blanket right now and feel what we need to do to keep our flames alive. This is a time when we need ways to keep our light strong. Randy Keeler, he loved the song Hold On. And one of his favorite verses was, there's just one chain that we can stand. That's the chain of hand to hand. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Let's sing the chorus. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. There's only one thing we did right, to organize and fight. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. One more chorus. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Won't you hold on? Well, a few weeks ago, I got an email from Alex Osterman in Ashfield. She said, just one sentence, we have to sing. And I wrote her back tonight. And then we ended up a few days later, but she put out the word, let's meet at Elmer's. Sing the songs that will help us hold on. It started out, there were 6 of us, and we said, that's fine. You know, what song did you bring? And then pretty soon there were 21 people. And pretty soon we all said, we're going to do this every month at Elmer's, March 9th, 4 o'clock. So singing is one of the ways of holding the flame. Oh, but this next page has another. It says, and there's a candle with it, a half-used candle. I send to the future this way of holding the flame. This candle comes from the night before the election. The Interfaith Council gathered people, gave everybody a candle, and what was so gorgeous is when you had your candle, one person lit theirs, and then we tilted, and one at a time, and then we'd hold up our candle and say, I light this flame for. Of course, so I said, I light this flame for children. And then when it came around to Sister Claire from the Peace Pagoda, she said, I light this flame for compassion. And then a farmer from Charlemont said, I light this flame for the terrified. So I want you to imagine, just like we're imagining this book, that you have a candle and someone next to you has a lit candle and you're tilting theirs and you're catching that flame. And I want you to think inside yourself, What are you lighting your candle for? It can be more than one thing, but let's just take a moment and just really think, what are you lighting your candle for? Thank you. You know, let's shout them all out. 1, 2, 3. Justice, rest, resilience for some, all these echoing around the world. I meant to say around this room, but it came out around the world, and I guess that's true too. So thank you for what you just lit your flame for. Another page. I send it to the future, this way of holding the flame. Sacred sites, peace pagodas. Peace pagodas. Why, they were started by a Japanese Buddhist monk, Nichidatsu Fuji. And he was born August 6th. Now you might recognize that date, because on his 60th birthday there in Japan, his homeland, is when the first atomic bomb was dropped. And what did he do? His response was, we're going to put peace sites all around the world. And so he was given permission by Slow Turtle, Wampanoag shaman, chief, to bring the first North American one to right where we live in Leverett. So let's imagine, let's feel the wonder of 80 peace pagodas now around the world. And you see, they can be there, but if you don't notice them, you don't catch their flame. Doesn't that make sense? So for this moment, let's catch the flame. Let's say to ourselves, no matter anybody else would say, oh, who cares? No, we're going to care right now. We're going to care that Leverett Peace Pagoda is there, and there's 80 around the world, and we thank you, Nichidatsu Fuji. You taught us a way to hold the flame. Next page. We send to the future this way. I'd like you to also hold this reality. 45 years ago, the Pentagon was surrounded by a circle of women. Doesn't that seem hard to believe? Because the Pentagon is a factory of world poverty. But 2,000 women. Now, if you were one of them, raise your hand. Yeah, Sandra and I were there. It was November 17th, 1980. I was 30. We used scarves to extend our reach, and then a runner came around to report that we made it all the way around. We made it all the way around. We did that for you. Now we are the future of that action. So let that matter and make an inner prayer. Be there right now. Let's encircle the Pentagon together and think the prayer that you're making. We are encircling the prayers with our hearts. Our hearts matter. Our hearts are stronger than the bombs. Yes. Now, Barbara Deming said that we catch courage from each other. She said we nerve each other. She said people who carry the flame, it's like a neural net, and we're each neurons. So I send to the future this way of holding the flame. I want to call to mind 3 people right now. First, Wally Nelson and Juanita Nelson. They were beacons, right? Even if you never got to meet them, just to know that they were there. They were on that Great Beaver Mountain. That's where they lived. That was their homestead. Tax resistors, market farmers, starting not only the Greenfield Farmers Market, but that was the first farmers market in New England, what I understand. So if we take in the light of people who are beacons, we're letting them increase our light. I think it's a kind of photosynthesis that isn't talked about much. That the light of everybody here is igniting each other when we let it. So we bring in Juanita, Wally, Presente, and let's bring in Wait Still Sharp. Let's bring in Artemis Joukowsky, who gave a sermon here this fall, and then the film was shown. You know, let's just say that this mattered, that after 17 Unitarian ministers were said, would you go to Czechoslovakia and rescue Jews and other people? 17 said no, but Waitstill and Martha Sharp said yes. So we have to let this matter. Waitstill was then here in this congregation, not just his grandson talking, but he was a member. And after he died, his second wife was a member here. So all the people who've ever been at All Souls, they give us their flame. And here's this picture that I think you would enjoy. 50 years later, Martha went to a reunion of a group of children that she had rescued. And now there were 11 women still alive. And they said, we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you. If anyone wants to look at this, I'll bring it downstairs. Now, on Mount Holyoke campus, there's an enormous chapel. And there were five choirs there last night, all doing music of Alice Parker, who lived in Holly. So she's my third example of a person close to us, in reach of us, whose flame mattered. She said, when you have a song, it's like there's all these iron filings that are scattered, and then the song is a magnet that unites people. She also said something really interesting, that she would never have wanted to write a piece of opera that got performed at Carnegie Hall because it was churches that mattered to her. So this morning, I had a new insight as I was meditating and getting ready. So let me try this out, because it's really inspired by the beauty of Alice's heart. Our flame is continually given away. We're told, don't be selfish, don't have pride. But when you hold your flame, when you value your flame and really feel, what does that mean to you to hold your flame? When you're centered in yourself, then it's easier for the others around you to find their flame. You're not being selfish. That's part of all the words and belief systems from the violent culture that we're casting aside. The other thing she shows me is our flame is different from our ego. When people are told they have to dominate, in truth, when you value the flames of others, you go on a different plane than the ego. You take in the joy of other people's light. So sometime you might have a friend who's telling you about their vacation where you're not taking a vacation. And there's this Buddhist practice, I take joy in others' joy. That's going into our own flame. Oh, I send to the future this way of holding the flame. This is very personal. When you wake up, you know that feeling just before dawn where it's this beautiful dark, and you can either like drop into worry and say, oh, I remember this and that, oh no. Or at that moment, this is this really interesting thing. If you reach to the heart of the world and you send love to the heart of the world, or you reach to the people all over the world who care, it changes your day. So I want to bring to mind a man who talks about this, Majid Sawalha. His father, Muhammad Sawalha, they live in Palestine. They run the Palestinian House of Friendship. Majid goes to schools to help young people not get involved in violence. See if you like this one. He says, wake up every day and plant the seeds of hope. Carry the torch to become ambassadors of love. So what if you wake up and you say, I am an ambassador of love, and what I'm doing matters. Well, I'm bringing up another, I know you can't see it, but during coffee hour and potluck you can take a look. Yeshe Solgyal. Yeshe Solgyal, she would be called a saint or an angel. She helped bring Buddhism to Tibet. She's really important this very day. I think you're going to be amazed at the next thing I'm going to tell you. I learned this very day, the past is coming to help us. Today, in a southern Vermont mountain called Manitou, people are planting a black granite diamond-engraved plaque with a flat statue of Guru Padmasambhava. And they say, he's the sun and she was the sun's rays. Padmasambhava made this prediction, and he made it, I think, in the 700s. So at that time, it seemed like Tibet would go on forever, all the people safely on the mountains, never guessing what's happened now with the Chinese takeover. Here's his prediction. When the iron bird flies, when carriages have no horses, when rivers of stone cross the lands. So that's the riddle. What are rivers of stone? Highways. The central land of Tibet will be invaded, and the Tibetan people will be scattered. These are turbulent times, so we need to give a remedy. So the remedy was to bring these black granite statues. It's kind of analogous to creating a peace pagoda, but a man in Asia this year had 1,000 of these plaques made. 1,000. He mailed 2 to a woman I know, Nancy Crompton in Vermont. So I interviewed her this week about this. This afternoon at 1 p.m., one is going to be placed on that mountain. And before that, at Solar Hill in Brattleboro, one has already been placed. There have been ones put in lakes, in Germany, in a river, in deserts. And Nancy said the intention is there's something about a vibration starting to help us with fearlessness, to give us harmony. So there are people who see her in their dreams. And she whispers to you, you can be fearless. My friend Ed Sofke was a Buddhist monk, and he was actually killed. And I wore his mala today, so if he were alive, he would be there on Manitou. So my thought is I'll take it off, and if anybody wants to put your blessings into this mala, if that works with your own belief system, then I know I'll see Nancy in the next couple of weeks, and I'll be bringing your blessings through this mala. So what's so beautiful is we take in the reality of receiving from the past their way of holding the flame. I have one more page, and the page involves the women of vision who came to this church. How many people were able to hear them? Or I know that there's going to be a release of a film of it. Kate, you helped to bring them, the 3 of you. Yes, great. So Hanukkah, this year, in the desert, the Negev desert, there were people who were Palestinian Israelis. There were Jewish Israelis who all gathered with candles. So let that in, that really happened. I made a song for them. We are making, I'll just sing a little smidgen of it. We are making a new path of light together. Making a new path of light. Dorit Bat Shalom, one of the founders of Women of Vision, I'm singing her words. We hold a vision that's not here yet. It rings out through the ages. We won't be enemies in fight. We are defenders of the sacred. So that's the secret, to feel ourselves as defenders of the sacred. When you wake up not only into a world of serious problems, but you wake up into a world that has not been abandoned. We won't abandon it. Feel all the people keeping their flames alive. We receive their good intentions. We draw upon the memory of courageous people. And let's feel ourselves like in a constellation of all of these people carrying the flame. For me, that image of constellation helps it become real. We are guardians of life. I trust in your own way you will be carrying the flame. Trust in your direct knowledge of how to do that and the words that work for you. At the end of a journey camp day, we symbolize the candle of the day. We think of something we want to remember. Can we hold again that image of all being in a web of life that's part of the heart of the world, and of our flame mattering? And then what we do is we blow out the candle and we say, I carry the flame. So would you pretend you're at journey camp with me? And would you hold up a finger, kind of like a candle, just like we've had this book with us. And with one hand, I'm going to close the book on that image of defenders of the sacred. Throw it up to the sky. You can pull it down anytime. And then we go 1, 2, 3. I carry the flame. Thank you. You know, I feel this feeling in the room. Let me play a little bit of that flute again so you can hold on to what you want to hold on to. We carry the flame. And when we do the postlude, this little light of mine, I'm predicting that Annie's going to come up and sing with me. Well, let's welcome our host, Kate, to lead us in Joys and Sorrows. Oh, long line as a hymn. I'm trying to feel which is better to do. How about if we do the joys and so people don't have to hold it, but they'll know they're heard. And then we'll switch those up.
And we can see how we're doing with time, too.
It's exactly the time we planned.
Good job. So this is our weekly Joys and Sorrows. We invite people to share their hearts, their joys and their sorrows. And a mic will be brought to you. Maybe Rob can help out with that. Of course, it's not a time for announcements. We'll do all announcements downstairs, so I'm really hoping that your people will venture down the stairs for a potluck. So it's a very great joy that we have visitors today. And so if you'd like to introduce yourself during this time, we would welcome that. And then we'll also see if anybody on Zoom has an announcement. A joy or a sorrow. So maybe Sandra would light candles. Thank you. So now is the time to share joys and sorrows.
Hi, my name's Ellen, and I've been thinking about my son, who is 54 this year, and he lives in Colorado, so I don't see him much. We saw each other over Thanksgiving, and he's struggling a lot, and he has a good job with a good salary, and he's so unhappy in it, and he's unhappy in his life. And so I don't know what to do to help him, but perhaps we all send him. His name is Paul Blanchett, and so send him good thoughts, and that will help. Thank you.
It's not coming through.
Thank you. Oh, wow. It's definitely louder. I'm going to light a light the way we used to light the light at the Unitarian Church in Arlington County, Virginia, where I grew up. This little light of liberal light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This liberal light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Let it liberal, let it shine.
And it will be our postlude.
Hi, my name is Emma. I've been here a few times, but still a visitor. I'd like to light a candle for Sam Nordquist and a candle for all of the trans people who feel less safe because of Sam's torture and murder.
Hi, I'm Maria, and I want to thank Kay for inviting me to the Zoom with all the young, all women who work around our community to help others feel strong and safe during this time. And I have to say I was really impressed to see all the young women supporting each other and hanging in there. Women from the Community Action Agency, women from Brick House, and so many others. And I just want to say it was a joy, and thank you, Kate, for inviting me. And let's send all those young women and all those young people who are doing good work our love.
I got the green light. So my name's Annie. Hello, church. Good morning. Sarah up there. So grateful to be able to come and hear such soulful, encouraging message in this time. So a candle for sorrow. My friend Julia, she fell and broke her neck and her arm. So I'm sending light and healing to her. And then a two-part thing. One is sorrow with what's been happening on the river in Northfield, the pumping station, sucking thousands of fish up and disintegrating them and throwing them back to the river. And the joy is I met with a large group of people outside of GCC. We all sang, and then we spoke. And so I'm hoping that the way that we presented is going to change what's going on there. I spoke to the water, and the last thing I want to say about it is I sang a little song. Of course, I sang The Patriot's Dream, but I ended saying that I come here with an open heart, and may they listen with an open heart. Thank you.
It's always good to be back here. There's a lot that we could light those candles for with sorrow. and I am choosing to light a candle of joy. And that is because over the last several weeks, I have been seeing many various communities of women in my life that are the next generation. And they are in meetings about regenerative community and culture and making a track, like bee honey track for what we need right now, what the people need and what our hearts need. And I see this as lineage, and I see that as 40 years of being a defender of the sacred feminine, and to see it now through those that I prayed would come forward, that I can see them. And in this moment, to thank you, my mentor and teacher, Sandra Boston, for when I was a young woman, and you gave me all of that track that I could grow beautiful life with for those that live here. So to the rising still, thank you.
Matt, do we have anyone on Zoom?
You do, Rob. I have a couple to read, and Gary would like to share something himself, so we'll be hearing him through the speakers momentarily. Christine Bates offers, please light a candle. I am so very sad to hear farmers are struggling terribly. Funding cut abruptly and closer to home. Rebop Farm in Brattleboro lost their animal shelter and a cow due to snow load collapse. And Carlin Saltman would like to share, echoing Link, thank you, Sarah. Together we can all carry the flame. Tom and I want to share a fearful time for his brother Brian, who's been in the hospital for almost 2 weeks awaiting surgery for a clogged cardioid artery. The risky operation is tomorrow down in Maryland. A couple more to add. Jay Lincolnhurst offers, Sarah, your message hit home. Thank you. And Hope Janishian offers prayers for Pope Francis. Joan Pillsbury has a sorrow to share, I believe, through her microphone. We'll be hearing from her in a moment. Molly offers, thank you, Sarah, for this and a beautiful, peaceful service. So now, Gary, I am going to unmute the mics, and feel free to speak, and hopefully we'll hear you in the church.
Thank you. So it's both of us, Gary and Christy.
I think someone has their mic off of mute because you're echoing like a science fiction movie in here. Try again, please, Gary.
Hello, hello. What's happening? All right. So I want to echo the sorrows of people shared about what's happening in our world today, and a couple of okay, now we're going back. We're back. First of all, it was a delight to have you here, Sarah, and really appreciated and taking in your sermon. Thank you. And do you want to share about the visit?
Oh, I just want to share a joy. We have the opportunity to be up in New Hampshire this weekend, which is why we're not getting in person. Oh, there's a lot of echo, isn't there? And just we're getting to visit with family, and we got to go to a little beautiful human's third birthday party yesterday, and just celebrating community and family, and also finding the gift in spending time with those of us we may not align with in every respect, but still loving each other anyway. And I think in these really divided times, we need to remember that people that don't necessarily align with us in certain values, we can still love them deeply and thoroughly. That's all.
Mm.
All right. Thank you, Gary and Christy. Christy.
I'd like to light a candle of sorrow. I only have two sisters. One of them, Amy's birthday is today, and she has cut all ties with our family, so it's a great sadness that I can't even tell my baby sister that I love her and happy birthday. But I guess in the mysterious way that those iron filings work, maybe the magnet will somehow let her know, even in some inexplicable way, that her brother is lighting a candle for her. And I'd like to light a candle of joy for the overlap that I heard today between the way that the wisdom of the past and the courage of the present can help us face the future.
So I'm Pam, and this last week my elder son came for half the week for family end-of-life planning. And sure enough, I'm at a brink, you might say. Probably not, but it feels that way. And that's important, so that, for instance, Joan Pillsbury is doing green burials. And Joan is head of the Gill Cemetery, one of the best green burial sites in the state, I think. So this is important. But there's another thing, too, is this church. I can get a really good idea, but unless a group forms, and a group seizes the idea and takes even a piece of it, it's not going to happen. And I have been looking for collaboration among 14 UU churches in Western Mass, and I'm finding it. And that's one reason why I have a severe hearing loss, because now I've been on the phone for 2 years. So, trying to find the people who will do that, who will sort of take the idea, and then we will make it collective, and we will make it our own, And most important is the next generation. And just this morning, I learned that Kate has discovered 2 groups that are building giant puppets of trees that are pulling the carbon out of the atmosphere. The trees, not the puppets. Pulling the carbon out of the atmosphere, and they're using their giant puppets to represent the forests that are really doing all the work. So we have a vision of kids coming down the aisles of UU churches, dressed as giant puppet trees, and expressing their love of life, and also that trees are living beings, and they have equal rights to this earth, and we need to be listening. That's all I've got to say.
May those puppets overcome the puppets in DC.
We're going to light one more candle for all those joys and concerns that are held but not spoken. This is the moment in the service when we know that the prayers are heard by each other. So we join together caring about the sorrows shared, feelings of being cut off, wanting to join with those who are distant, praying for health of family, friends, lineage, also for Pope Francis. The joy of giant trees, of regenerative lineage for the next generations, of birthdays, of people drawn together like iron filings, seizing ideas, caring about those who don't align with us, we still love them. Thank you for the love that is shared by the people in this congregation, in Zoom and right here. And we're going to seal that instead of the prayer to friends, let's go to page 123 in our hymnal. It's also a song by Carolyn McDade, Spirit of Life. She says that she wrote this during her own sorrow for the Iran-Contra, just overcome with sorrow for what was happening in the world. And she sat at the piano and this song came from her. Page 123. Is it your custom at this point to sing this standing or seated? Sit, okay. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. What I think would be most respectful for you right now, because several people mentioned This Little Light of Mine and the time when we used to sing This Little Liberal Light of Mine in the 60s. But I think I'm going to put aside the song, or just seated. Let's just do first verse, it's in your insert, and the chorus, because it ties together our themes. Yes, it's right there. First verse and chorus. There's a long, long line of light, and we carry that flame. There's a long, long line of light, and we carry that flame. Those ancestors reach to you, they call out your name. There's a long, long line, my friends. There's a long, long line. There's a long, long line, my friends, and we carry that flame. And we carry that flame. Well, as we're closing, Annie's going to come up for the fun of joining in singing. Is that okay for you? And always. When I first heard you sing in 1978, I'd never heard someone sing with so much passion, so it's always a joy. Oh, we should tell you, Saturday, April 5th, this is going to be filled with people learning about Pete Seeger, singing his songs. It's our 11th Pete Seeger Fest, but it's going to be here because we needed a bigger place. 3 p.m. It's going to be, and Tina, one of Pete's children, will be here. So it's going to be really special. So don't forget, there's announcements and potluck downstairs. We so hope, don't think like, ooh, I didn't bring anything. Not to worry. We're all holding each other. So let me get out my guitar. We'll sing by these mics.
Okay.
Okay? I like to do PAC. Let's see. Why don't we trade off verses like you did the next
What song are you going to do?
This little,
Oh, This Little Light of Mine? We're going to do it? Okay. I think I can.
this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light, it's fine to clap along. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, fine to stand. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Well, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. You take the next verse.
Holding hands around the world, I'm gonna let it shine.
around the world. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Nobody can blow it out.
I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, nobody can blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Well, nobody can blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. My house or your house, I'm gonna let it shine. Well, my house or your house, I'm gonna let it shine. Well, my house or your house, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Eveline likes this verse. Till we all have what we need.
I'm gonna let it shine till we all have what we need. I'm gonna let it shine till we all have what we need. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, I'm gonna keep an open heart. I'm gonna let it shine. Well, I'm gonna keep an open heart. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna keep an open heart. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Last chorus, here we go.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Thank you, Sarah. I love you so much. Thank you.
So we'll see you downstairs for potluck announcements, blessing Ed's Mala, all kinds of chances to look at the Hands Across the Hills book, and Yeshesh Sogil, all the different books mentioned. Coffee and tea is